and I have a small presentation. It is not statistical, mathematical. I just wanted to show a few things which has changed over the period of time. I was born in 1978. I finished my schooling and everything in 1996, and now I am in 2016. So I just wanted to relay an information to show that how life has changed, you know. It's visible? You can see this? Or it's dim? You can see this, right? Okay. So I believe in this slide. I have been following this for the last 6 years. I've stolen this one from other presentations, which has been done by one of my mentors. He works for HUL. And he firmly believes that. And when I saw this slide, I was able to relate this with my life. The only thing is that is constant is change. Next 48 months, you have to prepare, you have to embrace, live, and survive. Now, the last word, survival, will actually start happening when you enter the corporate life. A quick snapshot. This is the anatomy of change 2016. So there are 4 brackets, which is technology, politics, social, economy. And these are self-explanatory. Usage of telephone, internet users, mobile phones, social. Myself, yourself, everybody is aspiring for big things. iPhone 6 is good. Android is good. So what has been dominant in the past is not dominant now. Nokia and BlackBerry are the classic case studies. I never used to imagine that Nokia will fade away in the market. Sold to Microsoft, devices division and all those things. Life has changed. Politics. Social. You have so many choices. Every person in this room would probably get a message at the end of season 7. Right? Somebody will go to Superstore, somebody will go to Max, Pantaloon, you have choices. During my time it was Rajesh Tailors and few of the clothing areas, Raymond's. You want to buy a suit, you go to Raymond's, pick up limited choices. But there's a problem of plenty. This is 1996. Technology, computerization, .com boom. Y2K problem. I don't know, you don't belong to that era, but Y2K problem was a big change. And I was fortunate that I was doing management during that time, 1999, 2000. Social. With the opening of the economy, the purchasing power went up. The middle class was truly getting the benefits out of it. You go out and eat in a restaurant, what is an average size of a bill for a meal for 2 people? Right? A masala dosa today costs 120 rupees. Plus VAT, plus Krishi Kalyan tax, plus Swachh Bharat tax. Economy. We saw a lot of liberalization. Make books your friends. See what's happening. I love to read about conflicts. Conflicts about nations, conflicts about various forms of human life. You may have a different passion for reading. Read that. So this is 1996. This is 1976, the period when I was born. Technology was All India Radio and Doordarshan. I read a line for you which I read. In the launch of Doordarshan in 1976, until 1976, television and radio both came as All India Radio. The television service was split off the radio network as Doordarshan. The steps to make it national channel began in 1982 to cover the 1982 Asian Games. Change. Social. Films like Diwar. Sorry, if I am disconnecting, please let me know because I am from the Dilip Kumar's age, you know. So, though I am 38 years, because I love to watch old movies, I am a very passionate theatre personality. That's why I used to relate everything with movies and theatres and everything. So, the films like Diwar are a reflection of national sentiment and give rise to an angry young man persona. You know? Can you quote me any person in Bollywood who you can say he's an angry person? Angry young person personality kind of a thing. Sorry, leaving aside Salman Khan. because it doesn't fall in any category. Sorry if I've disappointed some of the females over here. Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan is from the age of 1971, so he's carrying that legacy. But he has changed himself. He has evolved himself from movies like Saat Hindustani to Teen. A different persona altogether. Economy. Nationalization of banks in 1979. Now, classic example. SBI was formed as a national bank for India, headquartered in Calcutta, later moved to the financial capital, which is Mumbai, and formed branches. So it was a divided economy. You were saying united we stand. So what's the phrase like? United we stand? So that time, the phrase was united we stand, together we fall. So if you are responsible, I am equally responsible. Now you see the consolidation of banks is happening. All the state banks of Bikaner, Rajasthan, everything is merging to the parent bank. Change. Same company, but there's a lot of change. They lend to the access of credit for agriculture, small and medium enterprises, but the phrases have changed over the period of time. So I have just portrayed 3 decades of change where I belong to. 16 years, 20 years from now, when you stand here and we do a reversal effect, it's a symbiotic process, give and take, you will be able to highlight the changes which have happened earlier. I'll skip this. Quickly we'll read this, everything that is already in the... So there are some of the phrases which I deeply follow in life. But I will skip this. If you can read it, is fine. So just highlight on the second line. Everything that get invented between then and before you are 30 is exciting. And creativity, with any luck, you can make a career out of it. I was never destined to become a media, entertainment, B2B event personality. I got an opportunity. My first company I worked for was HSCL, and I joined this company. There was a batch of 30 people. 3 people got selected. I was one of them. I didn't get salary for 6 months because of the telecom scam which happened in India. I was not responsible for it. But my career got spoiled. I joined a second company, which I did not reflect in my CV and my introduction, which is ICICI Pro. I was never meant for the BFSI vertical, but I didn't have a job. I had to do something. I was given a Future Strategist Award in the second month for doing good sales and bringing in a lot of changes and I was one of the youngest unit managers of the country. I left the company in 4 months because I probably believe that I am not able to bring any change for the company is not being able to bring any change in me. And then I entered into Times of India, where I have to look after the activation cell for economic time branded events, and I thought this is something which excites me. And that was a little late for me. I should have realized it long back. So my only submission to you is please realize what you want to do. You have a full 48 months with you to define your life. If you define it early, it's good for you. So how the core motivational drivers has changed over the period of time. Now that's some of this, you guys remember this? Punch card, mainframe servers, computing, personal computers last century. This is this century. Software services, consulting, analytics, cloud. Same stuff, but redefined. This was my era. This is your era. Nothing has changed. What has changed is love. The quotient of love has changed, While the core emotions have remained the same in both this slide, the medium of expression has changed. How many of you have heard DDLJ? Almost everyone. So Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge is about traditional boy meeting a girl in the real life world. And how many of you heard this is flop movie? Mujhse friendship karoge all through internet with fake identity. If you have seen this movie, you will understand that life has changed, the quotient of love has changed. And I'm just trying to bring in those parameters because these are very important in real life. Have you seen both these movies? So what is the quotient here? Ali was love. What is the question there? Care. Both the film handled a very sensitive issue about child care. You know, growing up kids in a different context altogether. But one has having a social moral background, while the other reflected the changing times of competitive world. And the parents' blind pursuit of turning their kids into super kids and being insensitive towards the natural talent. That's why I asked you. Is this profession by choice or by influenced by somebody else? Ask yourself what you want to do. Question two. Have you watched this movie? This is a cult movie. What's the question two? Anger. Ankush and Ranga Basanti both reflected the young generation's frustration against the socio-economic system. While the issues they battled were very different and were very specific to the respective eras. The core of the film reflected the mood of the young generation. You know, if you get jobs in a place like Facebook and the Facebook is not able to give you your appointment letters in 5 days, you say dot dot dot. I have better things to do. Because you're equipped with those kind of a knowledge where you think that you will contribute to an organization. What's the question, Jay? Finally you got that, huh? So I think I'm moving in the right direction. Next, friendship. Chashme Baddoor was versus Dil Chahta. Both cult films presented friendship in a refreshing way, but for that different generations altogether. So the question has changed. What you like? So you know what? I give you a very interesting thing. Sometimes when my wife decides not to cook that particular day or the cook doesn't come, we decide to eat outside. So we have a huge folder which we pick up from the top of the fridge and decide what to eat. So my son says Chinese, my wife says pizza, I say Mexican, and there was huge chaos in the house, and we end up eating nothing. So I just pick up few things which are left over from the previous days and I eat. There's a conflict. There's a problem of plenty. So in that particular thing, if you refer to my first slide, you have to embrace change. What you want, you should have a clarity. Any conversation which you do from now to your parents, to your peer group, to your friend group, and to the professional world, have a clarity. And people appreciate clarity. 2010, I was addressing a new batch of management trainees in my own organization called United Business Media when I was leading the technology media. And we're talking about how to manage the business. But we gave them sufficient time to understand what the balance sheet look like, what are the profitabilities, what are the line of business and everything. And we were having an interaction, an open informal interaction. This one guy came up to me and said, I don't support your business the way you are operating it for last 5 years. I said, okay, fine. So he had the guts to tell me that we are operating in a wrong way. I asked him why. He asked that, sir, you're clubbing a lot of things in one single basket. Your bottom line is healthy, but your top line is not healthy. You guys know about bottom line and top line, right? Your bottom line is healthy, but your top line is not healthy. I told, fine. And eventually you will end up in red in your balance sheet. Okay. So it was actually a sort of humiliation. Let's be honest about it. You know, a guy who is a year old telling you that line you are not functioning well. You have to shape up. I said, okay, fine. I said, okay, fine. You give me a report highlighting 10 different points where you think we are not going wrong, where we are going wrong. You told, sir, 2 दिन की क्या कर रहे थे सर? मैं शाम तक आपको दे देता हूँ. मैंने कहा, okay, fine. But I'm a lazy guy, you know. I don't want to go to the computer, type from an Excel sheet, put numbers in it. If you have 10 minutes, I will tell you how. I told, okay, fine, tell me how. He told me that the cyclic process of the entire life cycle of your brand which you do gives the visibility of your brand once in a year. Why don't you just distribute it over the period of time, but club it into one head? I said, okay, how do you want to do that? So I don't want to go into the specifics, but he presented me a plan. which in turn I presented to the key stakeholders of the organization, and that was accepted. So one business formula which has been operating for 5 years in India and almost like 50 years globally has changed in 5 minutes. That's I call change. And it has been given, the perspective has been given by a guy who is 6 months old in the system, or 6 months of total professional life. The only thing why that particular thing was accepted, because he had a clarity in what he wanted to say. And if he would have been wrong, the organization don't roger you. They give you okay, fine. But there's a flip side to it, because when you come up with more innovation, you say, okay, a brilliant idea, you will execute it. So that's the flip side of it. But the thing is, it came up with a brilliant thing and it changed the entire world. This one? Have you seen this movie? What's the question to you? Satire. The quotient of satire has changed. The David Dhawan movie is very different from the other set of movies, right? So you build up your personality and your mind when you go and watch David Dhawan movie, right? You go out and say, no, I'm going to watch David Dhawan movie, and there are a lot of things which come up in the Facebook by saying, I watched David Dhawan movie, and that has been respected in a different category altogether. All these things has changed over a period of time. You have to change along with them. Do you agree? How firmly do you agree with this? So what was the yes for that? You said yes, no, I asked you how firmly you agree. You guys are quiet. No, honestly, it's a very informal kind of a thing. Do you guys agree that life has changed a lot from the time you were born and what it's there today? And it will change gradually further? I will take you to the previous one. And I think that's self-explanatory. The world is always like this. Nothing has changed. It's just a matter of perspective. You can always say that there's a guy, idiot, who's standing out there and giving us bhashan. We know what to do with our life. That is clarity. Because people will come and go and tell you that what they experienced in their life. But it is up to you to define what you want. So I'm highlighting that particular point. Management is all about practical and theoretical knowledge, and you are in the best hands in a place like NDIM. NDIM is an institution who has imparted education in the last more than 2 decades, and they're very serious about it. And why should I say they? We are very serious about it. I'm a brand ambassador of this college, and I tell them that, you know what, that any institution wherever you go, they will give you knowledge. How much you want to take out of it is your thing. Skip those slides. So it is important to move ahead and acknowledge these changes. As simple as that, which I already told you. Just read this. One of my favorite personality which I love. Amazing guy. The way he used to portray things in life is very different from the rest of the guys who are into this profession. His profession, the way he explains things. Read an article. There's a full page ad today. There's a full page ad. The chairman of Hindustan Unilever has written a full page article about change. He has talked about digitalization, sustainability, innovation and all. The biggest companies in India, Amazon, Airbnb, Uber, they don't have anything with them. But they're the biggest player in the market. Read their success stories. We all are very busy with Facebook. Subscribe yourself to economic trivia kind of a thing. Get information from them. I've already included that in what I said. For this to happen, we need to look at your goals very differently. Define your goals. Okay, this is very different. This is a jargon which we use in management called VUCA. Let's remove that. Now, many of you have seen. You know what VUCA world is? It was introduced in the World War earlier to define certain things and bring clarity to the soldiers on how to fight things. Okay, simple definition. I'm not going to the description of it. But organizations across all sizes, across all functions and verticals have started following this in the recent years. You'll study this in your management as you go in one of the semesters, I guess. It talks about volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. That defines the organizational culture. So that's for the organization. What's in there for you? I define VUCA as your vision, understanding, clarity, and agility. If you define the below 4 elements, you will be able to define the 4 elements of VUCA in your professional life. So everybody has a VUCA. India has a VUCA. You should have a VUCA. I have a VUCA. Define your own VUCAs. For me, management is a word which I don't relate it to any dictionary or by any industry stalwart, whether it is Philip Cott. I define my management in my own way. 2012, when I was traveling very hard with my early assignment, I used to take early morning flight, come back on Friday. I spoiled my health a lot. My elder cousin brother was a doctor, said, you need to slow down in your life. I said, okay. And on the other hand, there were people who were saying this is a crucial period of your life where you gain height in terms of your professional life. So work as much as you can, then you slow down. You have a life cycle. You start your career, you go like this, go, then you flatten up, and then you slow down. So I developed some serious stomach issues because I was traveling outside, not eating properly, and I wanted to slow down, and I started looking out for opportunities after spending 7 years in this company, and I was doing all great. So I came across 3 assignments. I was being called by Bloomberg TV, which was taken over by Reliance. I was called by a company called Dun & Bradstreet, and I was called by AIMA. My least preference was AIMA. Because I've led corporate life, multinational companies, I've seen those flavors. Doesn't work in the long run. But I went to the interview at Bloomberg. They made me sit for 1 hour. Because supposing the guy who was to do my interview is on a phone call. I stepped out. I got a call that, no, I'm free, can we take the interview? I said, no, you have not respected my time. And you should have let me know. I felt bad, I stepped out. I was not desperate to get job. I was looking out for change. I went to Dun & Bradstreet, they were not interested what my name is, who I am, what I've done. The only thing which the guys were interested by saying, will you be able to achieve your numbers? I don't know your business. How can I commit to the numbers? I'm not saying the company is bad. I'm saying the person who interviewed me was bad. I said, no, I'm not interested. Sorry. You should be keen about knowing what I am. I love your clarity. That you are focused and honest about what you want to achieve out of me. But ask me what I want to get out of it. Sorry, I missed in between. I got a call from JWT. They want a new business development director. Very fancy designation. I know what I have to do. I'm not from a B2C media kind of a thing. I've done B2B media and all those things. They were interested and I declined. Because eventually I knew that I have to leave this job after 6 months because I will not be able to contribute anything. I had that clarity. So I was having lunch with my wife. And she was saying after a long time you want to spend time with me having lunch and all. And okay, fine. And there was an opportunity with a company called AIMA. It's an industry association. I don't know how should I go and all. But you should go because I love meeting people and all. And that should be the characteristics of a management profession as well. And I met a person who was the director general, Rekha Seth. And that changed my life. For the first time I thought of working for an association because she was a dynamic CEO. The work at this particular company was happening at a very fast pace, unlike any other industry association and everything. And I was given a responsibility to drive certain elements in the company. And it's a 60 years old company. We will be celebrating Diamond Jubilee this year, next year. And I was very happy. My appointment letter was issued in 2 hours. I was asked to join in a month's time. I had a notice period of 3 months. And they took care of that particularly. And So that changed my perspective, you know. And this was just imagine this was the last company I was keen to come for an interview. And she's one of my mentors. She has taught me so many things which I probably thought I knew. I recently concluded I did a national leadership conclave where we had 6 ministers from the present government, few ministers from the opposition and all those things, industry stalwarts coming in and out. Just changed my perspective. I was probably thinking that I know everything. And she taught me. So pick up your right mentors. You will surely get people of different genres, but it is up to you to pick up the right mentors. In a series of say 10, 12 faculties which you have in this college, you will see definitely few people who are really inspiring and think about you. Speak to them. Be impatient. Ask questions. Till the time they see you in the corridor saying, "Arey wo aa raha hai, bhago yaar." What question पूछेगा? Build your character in that particular way. I've already told you this. I've already covered this. Fail to learn. Just read this out. Learn fast, fail fast, learn again. But don't forget to be this. Make good friends. Be connected. 1 year from now, be inspiring to the next batch of people who will be joining. They will be looking up to you by saying that these are my seniors. They should not be saying that these are my seniors. The connotation should not change.